Yep. Get that thing out of my ear. Oh, I feel like death. I wish it was your fault.
All right, we're gonna be live in 2 seconds. Oh, actually, I think we already are live. There we go. Perfect.
Ooh. Jesus, that's a terrible look at me. I can't hold this out too far. How do I change it? Guess I don't. I kind of want the zoom to be less. Can I do that?
It's your phone. Sure. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Grateful. Wait,
Paul
what's
just
going
took
on?
a snapshot. Fantastic.
Didn't mean to do that.
No, that is the most pushed button on that display because it makes no sense. You click it and it looks like it's like zooming the display out or shrinking it or doing anything other than a
Yeah.
screenshot.
Oh,
But-
well, I guess we're stuck with this. God, I can't. I should have brought my glasses too. I'm so bright.
Probably should have brought some like vitamin C and other nutrients that you might need now.
Be nice to me. I'm in pain.
Makes me happy. Can you see the what's behind me by any chance?
Yep, that's good.
Yeah. I thought so.
We have a DNS down. All of Microsoft's mistakes are like human nature or human related, you know?
Mm. The important thing is that when whatever that mistake was, they didn't take down one region, they took down everything. Like that was like go big or go home.
Yeah, it's good. Good for them.
Da 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 da. 1 second here. How much time we got left? 30 seconds. 30-second warning. Oh, which I know what I gotta do.
I wish to God I could put this on something. Would it be weird if I laid down on the deck? It's a nice brisk breeze, though.
What is the temperature?
Actually, that's probably 50 something. I don't know if you can see.
No, that's actually a nice view.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, you ready?
Reasonably visible. Yep. Sort of. Yes.
If we had the streaming rights to the Imperial March, I would have replaced that with the opening credits because of Paul. How you doing today, buddy? How you doing?
Why are you so loud?
Why is it so bright?
I can't stand it. I'm okay. Why?
I've heard some things and saw what you were doing what you were doing last night, and
I learned last night that if I drink too much, aside from my ability to pass out anywhere, I have a nice autopilot thing going on where I don't remember cleaning up or putting things away or brushing my teeth or charging my phone or whatever. But all that stuff happened.
Yeah. Before Paul left, if you will, I told Paul is at the Sir Richard Campbell estate, which is a great place in Canada. I informed Paul, I said, Paul, please steal some scotch and bring it down to Seattle. What I did not say, Paul, was to drink all the scotch and save none for me.
That's $500.
That's an expensive bottle of scotch you guys were. What was it? Do you even know? Do you even remember at this
point? It was a Balvenie direct from Scotland. You can only buy it right there in Scotland, and even then you have to do some coercion to get it. But he does regular trips out there to buy expensive scotch, both for himself and for other people. So this was part of an expedition, if you will, to Scotland. Geez, Louise.
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, Richard Campbell has been around the industry probably about as long as you have. I mean, he's been around for quite a while.
Yep.
And he does .NET Rocks. He's written a bunch of books. But most importantly, he has a fine love of scotch. And whenever you hang out with Mr. Richard Campbell, you always get to drink nice scotch.
That's right. And he introduced me to scotch, and my life has never been the same.
For better or for worse, though?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
So, Paul, while you were, just on holiday yesterday.
Yes. Excuse me, on holiday? But by holiday, Brad is referring to the 18 hours of travel that it took to get me from my bed in Emmaus to this place in the wilds of British Columbia. I got up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a long day. So you can kind of understand why drinking needed to occur.
And you flew from wherever in the U.S. You went to Toronto first and then...
Yep, to Vancouver.
Yeah, why don't you show the fine people what's on the other side of your...
Yeah, it's a pretty view up here. I will say that. We've seen seals, crabs, birds I cannot identify. There are apparently sea otters that come down to the boathouse that's underneath here, which is outside of where I'm sleeping. But disappointingly, I didn't hear anything last night. So I'm hoping to catch those guys in the act.
Please don't bring them to Seattle. Actually, I would love for you to come through customs and be like, yes, I have an otter in my pocket. It's fine.
Oh, no, sea otters are humongous, and they're also like really dangerous. Yeah.
Are they like geese?
Yeah, they actually make honking sounds, and they will attack you. Yeah. Actually, they do terrible things. Like he has a little dog, and they're really nervous about the dog here because they're known to drag dogs into the water and then drown them. Yeah, they're like they're nasty animals. Well, pretty.
Yeah. Anyways, while you were gallivanting, just having good old grand times with Scotch, this happened. So this is the Down Goes Fraser infamous fight, and we have DNS here. Something
DNS
happened.
looks dazed and confused in that picture.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened. It was Microsoft pushed some sort of an update, and as this tried and true methods go, if you don't touch a DNS, it will touch you eventually, because it went down and it took all of their services basically intermittent. I don't think they ever fully went offline, because depending on where you were, like if you were already logged in, it seemed like it was fine. But if you're trying to authenticate and do all that stuff, and certain people had issues connecting, and that's Paul's giant hand.
Sorry, I'm lowering the volume.
Oh, yeah.
I have a really bad headache today.
A little bad headache. Anyway, so that went down for about an hour, and I think we might have... Petri hit some...
Does anyone else see the irony in a Microsoft update taking down Microsoft?
It was perfect. So the update... Well, it's even more perfect than that. So the update or whatever, stuff happens. But the perfect part was it started about 4:30 p.m. The build embargo news, the first tranche, if you will, went live at 5 p.m., in the middle of this outage. So it's like, hey, you can't access any of our services. Oh, here's all the cool stuff we're
But we have new services. If only you could see them.
Yeah. So all that stuff went out, some IoT plug and play. If you've ever said, hey, I need a SQL database at the edge, that's coming for all you people. There's some other good stuff. Developer edition of the HoloLens 2, but surprisingly it costs the same price as the actual HoloLens 2. So you get some freebies in there, I think, with some Azure credits and some development stuff. But same price, 3,500 bones. And there's a lot.
By the way, I didn't have a chance to look this up, but wasn't the original HoloLens $5,000?
Yes.
The development edition? Yeah.
No, the development edition, I believe, was 3,500 for the first gen.
Okay.
So it was actually cheaper.
But the actual device was $5,000.
Yeah.
Is that how that worked? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So there was no actual, I don't know, savings. What'd you do?
Just got a phone call in the middle of that.
Of course.
970. What area code is that? Do you know?
It's probably the geese calling.
It's Microsoft. Stop ripping on DNS. It was a mistake.
We apologize. We updated.
Yeah.
We updated. We're fine. We're fine. Anyways, so you are now in the Northwest. DNS is back up, by the way, everybody. And so you shouldn't be having any issues with that stuff. But there is a lot more announcements coming if you thought that stuff wasn't the most exciting thing on the planet. You're not alone. But there are more things coming next week. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Paul, I have something here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but if you know what this is, I'll be quite impressed. But can you see what this is?
It looks like a level almost, or a...
Not too far. It is a straight flash bracket.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I'm going to explain how this is going to impact your life in some way or another. So you know how when we do behind-the-scenes videos, I usually just kind of like duct tape that microphone to the side?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this fancy contraption, very fancy, highest quality metal produced in China, You can put your camera mount here and your microphone mount here.
Oh.
So it doesn't bobble up and down and look. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're really, a few more years of this, so we're going to be totally professional.
Yeah, just in time for like new technology to come out, and then us have no idea what we're doing.
Right. It's just in time for video to no longer be interesting to anybody.
Yeah, they're going to expect 4K holograms.
Mm-hmm.
For all the people that do keep asking, they're saying, hey, is there going to be behind the scenes video? Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Although we'll have to see how this one plays out, because there's a possibility that it might get combined with our Miami trip, depending on how much time we get to shoot footage, because we have next week with Build, and then like 10 days later, we're in Miami together, which is going to be...
By the way, not that this impacts you or anyone else, but I have stuff like between those two trips too. And like, not only am I staying here extra long and arriving early and whatnot, but like I fly home next Thursday, I'll be gone all day. Same reason, traveling all day. And then Friday morning, actually no. So I'll do the show from home next Friday. And then as soon as it's over, I'm going to drive up to Syracuse, or to Rochester, rather, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next morning, my son is getting an associate's degree. He's not graduating or anything, but I mean, it's like a, halfway done kind of deal. And then as soon as that's over, we're going to drive back home because my daughter's prom is that night. And it's like, is there a weekend where I could just kind of be home, or does that ever get to happen?
Well, much like you're drinking, a lot of this is self-inflicted. So
I guess the message here is don't have kids, I think is what I'm trying to say.
That is always an option. Have a Porsche, not a kid. I mean, that's about how it works out.
You'll be happier and it will hurt you less.
Maybe, unless you drive it into something and have to repair it. Other random things that are happening, my phone, or your phone actually, I guess it's probably called, is you can now save photos directly.
My phone.
Yeah, it should be called my phone, because you look at it, you're like, who's your phone? But it's my phone. You can now save photos directly to your PC. Kind of helpful.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly convoluted how you had to do this before, and so now you can just right click on it and save it. That's smart.
And for everyone who's been barking up the tree that solitaire should be in a museum, it now is. You've won. You've won the battle.
Sure. Also, if I don't really play solitaire that much. It's actually it's a good game, but in Windows 10, of course, solitaire has evolved into solitaire as a service, and you can pay for it now if you want to on an ongoing basis. So good of Microsoft to figure that technology out. Yep.
And we got Build next week that kicks off Monday. We have Google I/O on Tuesday.
Right. Did you notice, by the way, I don't think it's unreasonable to mention this, Google I/O is at the same time as Build, and it was last year as well. And on the day of the Google I/O keynote, I actually left the end of the Microsoft keynote, rushed through all the back doors. I got stopped by security. It was a whole mess.
Oh, I remember that last year.
To get to the press room so I could watch the Google I/O keynote live, right? So I just made it. And then this year, they actually built the Google I/O keynote into our schedules.
Yep.
Did you see that?
I did.
So they literally are not doing anything during the keynote so that we, the press, media, whatever, can go and watch the Google thing. So, by the way, little tidbit. Build might be changing and or going away.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard from someone, and we'll see. I don't know. I don't expect them to say much about that, but it's possible Microsoft might move to an every other year thing between Build and Ignite or something, or combine them into something, or recast Build as something later. It's something different. You may remember. Well, you will remember it, but other people may not remember. But Build used to be something called PDC.
Yep.
And PDC was run by the dev div at the time, like the developer part of Microsoft, the developer tools and so forth. And Build, the point of Build was to bring that stuff in-house to the Windows org, right? So Steven Sinofsky at the time wanted to control everything Windows that had anything to do with Windows, and including Windows development. And he actually, that's how Build exists. That's why Build is Build. And I always thought that was kind of a weird situation, and it looks like maybe there's going to be some changes there.
It's going to be great when they bring back all their conferences. What did they have? Used to have one called Mix for IE or whatever that was called. They're going to have PDC coming back. It's going to be what's old is new again.
Well, they always change this stuff up. There's like the partner conference, which is something else now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They call that one Microsoft Expire. No, just kidding. I know. So
Wow.
I'm not in good shape today. Anyway,
Didn't
whatever
notice.
that is, which is in Vegas, and like, is what's Ignite? Sorry, not
Mm.
Inspire. The partner show I think is called Inspire, but Microsoft Ignite has become such a humongous show.
Yeah.
They kind of can't have it anywhere other than like Orlando or maybe
Mm-hmm.
Vegas or something. I mean, you almost kind of wish they would go back to the way things were before, where they had like product specific shows
Yep.
that were smaller, more manageable. So maybe things are going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to have an Office 365 focused event, Windows.
Yeah, so
Well,
they used
like,
to have.
yeah.
Remember, the Exchange had its own show, SharePoint had its own show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we have to have 13 or 15 Microsoft shows every year, but it seems like having one or two is kind of it just makes it unwieldy.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could get away with having a moderate sized one every quarter. I think
Yeah,
that would be completely reasonable. So
yeah, I would prefer it. I think a lot of people would.
I'd prefer it if it
Imagine
wasn't on.
just as a showgoer. I mean, you're there because you're an exchange admin or something. My God,
Yep.
like you have to navigate through all this other stuff, and listen to hours of talk on stage about stuff that does not matter to you. You know.
Yeah, I personally hope they keep that. Well, now that they moved it to November, I would love it if they kept Ignite down in Orlando, just because November in Orlando is a lot
Is
different
ideal.
than
Yeah.
middle of the summer or whenever that was before. 2
I
months. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having to go from an air-conditioned conference center through what appears to be a heated tunnel to get to another air-conditioned, like it's in not August, but I guess September. It was just awful. It was just so gross.
And don't forget, last year somebody broke the escalator, the little walking thing.
That's
Yeah.
right. They walked right into the glass thing.
Yeah, the whole thing shattered, and we couldn't
like
even
fell
take it.
through it.
Yep.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
times.
Good times. Yep. So, you got anything else for us for today, Paul?
No, I'm gonna do Ask Paul, and then I I don't know what I can do beyond that. I'm just such a mess today. How about you? How's your head? Everything good?
I'm fine. I mean, the flight is probably the biggest thing on my schedule, and well, I mean, we all know how much I love flying, so that'll be a fun adventure going out there. But yeah.
Yeah. Is it you direct flight though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not home,
that makes a big difference. Oh, not home.
but I'm not taking the red eye this year, which should probably make things
Yeah,
significantly better. So
good.
we got that. Everybody else, if you're going to build on Tuesday at the Pine Box from 7 to 9 p.m., we will be there. Paul will probably be drinking more scotch.
I almost certainly will be drinking some kind of whiskey. Yeah, because I never learn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As we know again. Well, folks, that wraps it up for today. Podcasting schedule next week might be a little rambunctious or something like that, but we'll definitely be around writing content. Look for all that stuff up on Petri and Thurrott. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you right back here next time from Seattle.
I know you've told me this, but when do you arrive Sunday?
I land
Early.
in Seattle at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. or something like that.
What are you going to do?
Nap?
I mean, are you going to be able to get into a room?
I hope. Yeah, that's a good point, but we'll find out. Otherwise,
Okay.
no time to start drinking like 8 a.m.
I'll try to get there as early as I can, but it's going to be late. I mean, my wife has to get to the airport here at sometime late morning, but from the airport to Seattle is 3 or 4 hours. It's a long drive. So
yeah, just remember we got that thing at I think 5 that you're gonna want to go to. So
yeah, I'm shooting to be there in time to do that. Yeah.
Well, folks, we'll find out if he actually is. Stay tuned.
I'll be there.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye.